What's up, guys? My name's Captain Dave and welcome back to the Captain's Quarters, the video in which I go ahead and answer all your questions and comments from last week's video. And to break the norm, there is no announcements or things I need to say at the start of this video, so let's go ahead and jump right in to answering the questions from last week's videos. And to start off, we have Yusuf Yasir, who asked I think a record-breaking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I think there was a 9th one later on up here. Yep, the 9th one. Asked 9 questions right at the start of the video. So I'm going to go ahead and answer all your questions first, and then I'll move on to answering everybody else's, starting with first, and thanks for answering my question. And Dave, will you play Prince of Persia Forgotten Sands? Probably not. Actually, almost definitely no. I played one of the original Prince of Persias. I think it was on the PS1 or the PS2. I thought it was quite cool. I liked how you could reverse time a little bit, and how when you stab those sand men, they kind of got sucked up. It kind of reminded me of a Buffy the Vampire game, you know, where you'd stab them and you'd dust the vamps. Which, by the way, I know it's a really old game, and it could have been maybe just because I was younger back then, but I loved that game, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer game. I really enjoyed that. It's not exactly a game you'd think would be good, but I definitely enjoyed it as a child. But anyway, second question. Captain Yusuf Yasir reporting for duty, sir. Huh. Welcome aboard. Do you know that they are going to make a new Arkham 4 called Arkham Chaos, and Smallville is amazing? Sir, P.S. he's talking about the game, sir. Okay, no, I didn't know they were making an Arkham 4. I mean, just the other day I pre-ordered Arkham Origins, so yes, for those of you who are wondering, that does mean you can play as Deathstroke, so because I pre-ordered it, that means I'll also be able to play as Deathstroke. So you got that to look forward to. Can't guarantee the walkthrough will be coming release date. You know how long it took me to get Deadpool up, so there will be a delay on that. I mean, I still haven't got the recording equipment reset up. I don't know, it's kind of confusing actually. The back of this Xbox isn't like most Xboxes. I'm not sure how I'm going to go about doing it. Maybe I need to get it on PS3, who knows. But no, I didn't know there was an Arkham 4. I mean, they haven't even released Arkham 3 yet, so I'm surprised they're bringing out Arkham 4, or at least talking about it. Next one isn't a question. Next one's just more information. Dave, did you know that a lot of people are saying Marvel's cartoons are going downhill? What do I think? I personally agree to a certain extent. It depends how you mean they're going downhill. I mean, if a cartoon in its entirety is normally directed at children, because children and cartoons, they go hand in hand. I mean, there are a lot of adult cartoons, and I'm not talking about pornographic cartoons, but I mean, take South Park, Family Guy, Simpsons to a certain extent, American Dad, the Cleveland Show, even though it sucks. There are obviously cartoons for adults, but primarily cartoons were originally sort of directed at younger viewers, or at least it's more popularly known at younger viewers. So you could say that cartoons, they're fine. I mean, Amazing Spider-Man cartoon, I have never watched it. From what I have watched, I do not like it in the slightest, but then kids probably do like it. People of a younger age probably do like it, because it's their sort of humour and fun and blah-de-blah-de-blah, and that's all good and well. I mean, there are other cartoons that both younger and older people like. I know the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon, I know both young and old audience both enjoyed that. I liked it. I mean, the 90s X-Men and 90s Spider-Man cartoons, I absolutely loved them. Now, whether that's because that's directed at a slightly older audience, or maybe it's just got a nostalgia factor, who knows, but I wouldn't say they're necessarily going downhill. I think they're becoming more mainstream, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but because there's more money invested into it, more sort of funding behind it, I think they're trying to become... I think that's sort of killing a lot of things, is they're trying to be popular to everyone. They're trying to be sort of approachable to everyone, so you don't need to know anything about the comics or anything like that to enjoy it. And I think the problem you do that, you try and make it approachable for everyone, and then the people who are hardcore fans won't enjoy it because it's just too watered down, if you see what I mean. So I don't think they're necessarily going downhill. I think they're just aiming at a different demographic. I think they're aiming for more of a younger, just want to have a good time audience, as opposed to people who are going to take it seriously, which, in fairness, is really what a cartoon's supposed to be. So I don't think they're going downhill. I just think it's maybe aimed at a different audience to what they were before. The rest of these weren't really comments or questions either, so I won't answer them. And last question from Yusuf Yasir said, "Hey Dave, I know how you feel about not having any time to record vids. I was going to record a game, but I didn't have time because of school. P.S. Which part of England do you live in?" "I live in Birmingham, and can you check out Beastly Games channel because he's a friend and he's also a fan." The part of England I live in, I don't know, I think I might have said it before, I can't really remember. But obviously I don't want to give too much away because it's where I live and I don't want to find some creepy stalker-like person outside my flat. So, but it won't be narrowing it down too much. I live in Essex. I'm pretty certain I've mentioned that before, right next to London. So, other than that, I'm not going to go any more narrow than that because I really don't want to find anyone on my doorstep. So yeah, I live in Essex. Have done all my life. And also, can I check out Beastly X Gamers channel? He's a friend of mine and a fan. Well, hello Beastly X Gamers, if you're a fan. I'd love to say I would check out your channel, but honestly, as soon as I finish doing this, I'm going to go back to play Pokemon X. Because, good lord, that game is amazing. It really, really is. So, as soon as I finish doing this, I know that's exactly what I'm going to do. So, I'm not going to make any lies and say that I will. Marvel Lover 12 said, GTA 5, Dave, please. I've completed GTA 5. That game was fantastic. I think one of the best GTAs. I think if San Andreas, like GTA San Andreas, had the graphics that GTA 5 had and the gameplay GTA 5 have, I think those two would be on par with each other. And everyone says that San Andreas was the best GTA. And I think if GTA had all the advancements that GTA 5 has now, I think they would be on par. I think they would be just as good as one another. I personally thought it was a great game. Whether I'm going to do a walkthrough of it, I'm very unlikely to do a walkthrough of it, to be honest. It's so overly done. There's so many people doing walkthroughs of it right now, so I probably doubt I will. I mean, right now, I'm not going to be able to do any recordings if I don't get this recording equipment figured out. I don't know what's going on. Never seen a setup like this before. Falling... Oh, God, how do you say your name? Fall 3 Ensign. That was a comment directed at somebody else, don't worry. Jack Lunes, damn, I wasn't first. I know, Jack, you weren't first. it's just not a captain's quarters if you're not first in the comment section. Says, damn, I wasn't first, but Dave, when Lego Marvel comes out, who would you like to be? Who would you like to be the main boss? I do not know. With games like, I've noticed in a lot of Marvel games where it's every single character's involved, like Ultimate Alliance, they normally tend to stick Doctor Doom at the top. I think the Marvel MMO, I think Doctor Doom was like the head honcho in there. And there's always other games when loads of superheroes have to like band together. They always seem to make Doctor Doom the head boss, the sort of like the main head honcho. So, honestly, I don't mind. I played a bit of Lego Marvel at Eurogamer, and when I brought up the selection wheel for you to flick through which character you want to be, bear in mind it was just the demo and it was the first level. I think there was about 30 characters already, and that wasn't even like half of the amount of people you could unlock. I think the total amount they said of characters you can unlock was about 60, and they're all playable, every single one of them. I mean, just on the selection list that I had, there was Venom, Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, you had all the Fantastic Four, a lot of the X-Men, Spider-Man, the Avengers, you had all them, and you had a load of enemies. You had the Juggernaut, for crying out loud. I mean, Magneto. There was like, literally, they've thrown in so many bad guys you can be. So it seems like maybe some of the big main bosses, they might have like a couple of big higher up ones, like say Doctor Doom. And it seems like all the other bosses surrounding them, they might make some of the sort of, not necessarily lesser known, but not as popular enemies. So in that way, the more popular enemies you can actually play as. I don't know, I'm just speculating at this point. But for a main boss, honestly, I don't mind. The game looks like it's going to be really good, so I'm honestly, I don't have an opinion. As long as they make it looks like it's going to be quite funny, and the story looks like it'll be quite cool. So I'm not fussed, to be honest, as long as they make it good, which it seems like they are. So Jackson Skeens said, what would you do if they came out of a game of Marvel versus Batman versus Mass Effect? I would be very confused and angry, and I would voice my opinions all over the internet. No. I don't know, I would be confused how the concept would work, because I mean Marvel versus Batman I could kind of see. I mean the fight would be a bit lopsided. I mean Batman versus the entire Marvel universe, kind of be bit of a lopsided fight. And then you got the entire Mass Effect universe as well. I mean Batman will get crushed. But I wouldn't exactly see how it would work. I'd definitely give it a play, but I would very much doubt a game like that would would have any form of I don't know. I'm not quite sure how it would work. But AJ Singh said, Dave, what is your favourite game move? Oh, you've asked quite a few questions here. Alright, I'll go through them one at a time. Dave, what is your favourite game and movie? Favourite game have to be the Mass Effect trilogy. Love that game. There's loads of other games, obviously, that I enjoy, but favourite one, Mass Effect trilogy. Favourite movie, probably Kick-Ass. There's a lot of films that that are great films, and there's loads of films that I enjoy. I mean, I'm not saying it's necessarily one of the greats, but for a long time, The Butterfly Effect was one of my favourite films. I think that's just brilliantly acted, brilliantly scripted, and just a brilliant film, except for the director's cut, which sucked. I mean, the cinema ending, which you still see if they play it on TV, is great, but on the DVD, not even in the extended features, they didn't have the cinema ending, which was the best ending. It was so good. And then they had some, I don't want to ruin the ending obviously for you, for those who haven't seen it, so I definitely recommend you see that film. They had some just, oh, it's just horrible. I don't know why they decided to end the film like that in the DVD. But as far as I'm concerned, there's great films, but I think for a film which is your favourite film, should be a film that you can watch, and as soon as it ends, you could put it back to the start and straight away watch it again and still enjoy it. And for me, that's Kick-Ass. I mean, I know there are many films that are much better than Kick-Ass out there, but it's the only film that I can think of that it could finish and I could watch it straight away. I mean, The Amazing Spider-Man and The Avengers and stuff like that, I love those films. But I think if I was to literally press play once I just finished watching it, I would be like, it's a good film, but I don't want to watch it again. But with Kick-Ass, I can just watch that film over and over. I don't know why. It's one of those films that I just, I don't know, it just gets me. Makes me laugh. What do I think of Flash Thompson being Venom? I like it, to be honest. I've read a bit of Venom. I think it was like the first couple of issues of Venom. I think it's a very good idea, and I like how they've brought Flash into the spotlight a bit more like this. I don't know. I think it's a good concept, and also using Venom now for good. I mean, he was the enemy that everyone, like in comic book fans wise, grew to love. They loved him being an enemy, so now they're turning him down the good route by putting on Flash Thompson. I don't know. I'm interested to see how that could go. They could span that off into a lot of different ways. Obviously, Venom taking over Flash then doing good stuff with Venom. Maybe superheroes not trusting him because he's in the Venom suit. I mean, I know in the first couple of issues I read, it was more like Spec Ops missions, so nobody's even aware Flash Thompson is being Venom, that Venom's even around. But I know that's as far. I've only literally read the first couple, but I like it. I think it's good. Triple H and Randy Orton are heel now, just to tell you, and thank you for your appreciation of Kane, because nobody else does. I know, the guy's just swept away, just like Iceman. Have you read the Spider-Man and Batman crossover comics? No, I haven't. Didn't even know there was one, to be honest with you. Alrighty, Robert Hill. From my previous question, I meant your idea for an alternate universe, e.g. Ultimate Noir 2099. But to be honest, I'm pleased enough with your answer, and thanks for answering my question. I was noticed in capitals. Oh yeah, I remember your question. It was the one I didn't quite understand, was it? Oh, wait a minute, by the way. He or she, blah, 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 blah. Autistic, yeah. I know quite a few autistic people. Sorry, I just sort of mumbled that question. Oh, and when I meant Spider-Man, I meant the power she would have. Sorry, I didn't put it right. You're not the only one with a disability. I'm autistic, which is linked to dyslexia. Yeah, I know quite a few autistic people in real life, so I know exactly where you're coming from, Robert. Dave, have you read Amazing Spider-Man, Back in Black, and One More Day? Yes, I have. And there was a lot of mixed opinions on that. Not from me, but from everybody else. A lot of people thought, what have they just done to my favourite comic? But I liked it, and I thought it got to a point where they did something that, it was quite a risky move, but I think they do something where a lot of TV shows normally die at, and it's the fact that you have your characters and everything, and then one by one, they sort of like learn out, they find out who Spider-Man is, and blah, 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 and obviously by the time it gets to Back in Black, everyone knows who he is, and stuff like that. It gets to a point where there was nowhere else they could have took that comic. I mean, everyone knew who he was. It's just, there was nothing left for him to do. It's other than save the world and be Spider-Man and stuff. There was no more of the thing that made Spider-Man good. The trying to do good while sneaking around because nobody knows his identity, and even though he tries his hardest to do everything right, his personal life always suffers because he's always having to stop Green Goblin, and then Mary Jane misses a date and stuff like that. So, and it got to the point when Back in Black was around where none of that could happen. It's like everything that could have been done with him had been done. So I think not only was One More Day, I think, kind of a good reason to make him do what he did. And obviously I'm not going to go into it too much because I don't want to give it away for people who haven't read it. But I think I can understand why a lot of people are upset, because it kind of null and voided everything they'd read up to that issue to a certain extent. But at the same time, I kind of didn't see where else they could have gone with it. I felt that was their only sort of route. They had to do One More Day. The thing would have just... It kind of would have died like Fantastic Four nearly did. I remember at one point that there was an issue of Fantastic Four where they were just celebrating Franklin's birthday. And I mean, that was it. It was them all sitting around eating cake. And that was an issue of Fantastic Four. And I can see why they did One More Day, because I don't think they wanted Spider-Man to turn into that, because there was nothing else really for him to do other than make all the bad guys come after him again because they know who he is. So I liked it. I felt they put a good reason behind it, and it freed up Peter Parker to be Peter Parker again, because he was settled. You know, he had a family, he had a wife. There was no more things for him to do. But after One More Day, obviously, all that was wide open again. There was this... It was back to romances and stuff going wrong and jobs, and it was back to the Peter Parker that we grew up reading about. So I was upset to see the old life go, but I was glad. I enjoyed everything that came after it as well. So so what would it just be? I had another question. And about the ME4 talk, I agree with you about the different playable species, etc., etc. But I personally think it would be better to make a new story, but you get to choose to be a hero or a villain. Oh, that would be quite a good idea. So have the same sort of, your choices matter. ME3 ending. Your choices matter, but this time it could be a villain. So you could be maybe quite relaxed in something you do, or you could be really over the top and like kill everyone, but it's just basically you're a villain instead of a hero, and your choices still add up and mean something. So yeah, I kind of understand what you're getting at with there. It would be quite an interesting twist. Say like you're like a Saren or a Sovereign, but now it's up to you to make choices within your bad guy hierarchy. So yeah, I think it's quite an interesting point. Jedi Kun says, you can't keep someone entertained for a full game, ? What is this I'm hearing? Yeah, I suppose that was quite a silly thing to say, since how you guys are here because you watch my walkthroughs, and then I said I couldn't keep someone entertained for a whole game. Kind of hypocritical there, I can see what you mean. Nervdar2794 said, Cap, I like how Jackson said Marvel vs. Batman as if Batman was the only DC character. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. I mean, Batman's good, but taking on the whole Marvel universe, he's not that good. Nervdar2794 said, also in Mass Effect episode 78, some guy was screaming his face off for so long. Was that a glitch or something? No. I'm glad you brought that up, actually. That was the most irritating thing, and a bit of reference for anyone who hasn't got to that episode yet. But basically, there's a bit where, obviously I won't give anything away if you haven't been keeping up with the Mass Effect 2 walkthrough. But there was, I'm assuming you're talking about Mass Effect 2. Yeah, of course, 78, the first walkthrough didn't get that long. There's a bit on Kasumi's loyalty mission where we were fighting a bunch of guys, and one of them, I think what happened was I did a lift on him, or a pull on him. And as I did the pull, I also used my incendiary ammo, and the guy just burnt to death. But it's, I think it must be some form of glitch in the game, because I know underneath we've got Gareth Fakarian here saying no, it wasn't a glitch, it happens all the time. But I think it is a glitch in the game. It's just a glitch that happens all the time, because he died, and yet he just they're supposed to scream. Like, basically the idea is they keep screaming until they die, but because he was slowly being incinerated to death but had like half his health still, he just kept, like, the scream just kept recycling on repeat. So the whole fight scene, I'm trying to take these people down, and there's just this one person in the background just Wah! Well, it made me laugh. I mean, if glitches go, that's a good one. I mean, speaking of, it hasn't happened yet. There is a glitch coming up in my Mass Effect 2 walkthrough. It's not for a long time yet. It's not until I get my last squad mate. It is hands down the funniest glitch I've seen in any game ever. I mean, look forward to that episode. It's when I go and get my last squad mate. I don't know which episode it actually is. I think it's like 90 something, but it's it's the funniest glitch. It's to do with Kasumi, actually, funnily enough. Maybe she's just like a glitch magnet, but it's the funniest thing I've ever seen in a Mass Effect game. But anyway, moving on. JDude281 said, "You better not go ahead and ruin the 90s Spider-Man by trying Spider-Man theme by trying to sing it. It's the theme song like you did with the X-Men one." Oh, don't challenge me, JDude. You challenge me, and I might just have to go ahead and ruin the 90s theme as well. It's so tempting. It's so tempting. Spider blood, radioactive spider blood. Oh, again, that was my ringtone for a long time too. Got Gerald. Was it Gerald Gaines? Is that how you say your name? Do you watch Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? It's good. You should look at it. Also, Arrow on CW69. It's an awesome TV series for a DC character. I'm not sure what CW69 is. Maybe that's a channel that we don't have here in England. Who knows? But I haven't watched Arrow. I know a few people that watch Arrow, and they say it's good. I don't know. I'm not sure what I think about it. I think if I do watch Arrow, it might be one of those programs that I wait and then just watch like 3 or 4 seasons of it in a row. Right now, I've got no real interest in watching it yet. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., however, I have been watching. And I like it, but I'm kind of worried they're doing the same as like when we were talking about the cartoons earlier. I'm kind of worried they're making it a bit too kiddie, a bit too... I don't know what it is. There's something about it. Normally, when something's done by Joss Whedon, it's amazing, but there's something about this that I can't quite put my finger on. And it's just... I don't know, I'm very aware I'm watching a TV show. I'm not getting sucked into it. I mean, they keep dropping these little cliffhangers at the end, which, I mean, are awesome. They kept me sucked in, and each week I'm looking forward to watching it. But when I'm watching it, it just seems... I don't know. There's just something I can't quite put my finger on, but I'm just not that excited about it, to be honest. Which is a shame, because I was really looking forward to it. I mean, I'm still going to watch the whole season. I do enjoy it while I'm watching it. I'm just not enjoying it as much as I thought I would. It's just something... I really can't put my finger on what it is. It just... I don't know. It just doesn't feel Joss Whedon-y, to be honest. That's the best way I can say it. I don't feel like I'm watching one of his shows. It just... I don't know. Maybe it's the actors, maybe it's the characters, maybe we just have to give it time. Because I think the show definitely does have potential, but there's something about it that I think it might be the actors that are just putting me off. Maybe I don't know, who knows. I mean, I love Coulson, obviously. And I forget her name, the Asian lady, sorry, I forget her name too. The one who used to be in ER, who's playing the pilot. But yeah, they're doing a good job, but... And even Sky, to a certain extent, she's doing a good job as well. Although she seems a bit... I think they picked someone way too girly to be the IT nerd sort of person. It's just a bit too unbelievable, if you ask me. But I don't know. And then the Fitz and what's the other girl's name? I don't know. I can see it getting good. Just right now, it just seems a bit too cheesy, a bit too corny. I don't know. Something I just can't quite put my finger on. But I am enjoying it. Just not as much as I thought I would. Fidgety Jones said, "Hey Dave, I don't know if you know, but Beyond Two Souls was actually developed by Quantum Dream, the same guys that did Heavy Rain. It's almost guaranteed to be awesome." Yeah, damn straight it's guaranteed to be awesome. I actually bought it 2 days ago. I didn't realise it was actually the release date for Beyond Two Souls, but I bought it on the release date. I'm not going to get to play it for quite a long time, because as I say, I'm in Pokemon Heaven right now, playing Pokemon X. But I will play it at some point, and if it's anything like Heavy Rain, which I'm sure it is going to be, I am pretty confident I'm going to do a walkthrough of it. Most probably. I mean, if it is as good a game as I feel Heavy Rain was, and I feel like I can produce a good walkthrough of it, I will. So, might be something possibly to look out for the future. But yeah, Beyond Two Souls, I have it currently sitting with me, and I'm looking forward to playing it. Fidgety Jones also asked, also, have you ever played any games from the Uncharted series? If not, it's a third-person action-adventure shooter with witty and sarcastic characters, and it's kind of like Indiana Jones. I think you'd like it and would love to see a walkthrough of it eventually. I've never played any of Uncharted, but I've seen a lot of it, and I think it might... I don't know, it seems like a game I'd enjoy. I mean, it's a third-person sort of game, which, you know... Wait, if not... Oh yeah, if not, it's a third-person game. Yes, it's a third-person game, which makes me happy. There's something about first-person games I just really don't like, so... It's third-person, so that's got a tick in my yes box already, so... I don't know, maybe in the future, maybe one day I'll sit down and play it and fall in love with the game, but right now I have no plans to play it, but if I ever get bored in the future, I'll keep an eye out for it. Jim Vernier said, I don't really like first-person shooters unless it's a James Bond game. I think first-person shooters are the only time really I can get on board with first-person games. It's because like, obviously with the aiming down the sight and stuff like that. I mean, I understand you're saying you don't like other first-person shooters except for James Bond. And yeah, I can get on board with that, but I think first-person shooters is the only time where first-person I feel is needed when you're aiming down the sights of guns and stuff like that. But I don't know, I just don't like not being able to see my character. I mean, it works well in first-person shooters, and it works well in games like Portal. I think that's quite good, but especially like RPGs, or I mean like Bioshock or Skyrim, and I know like you can put it in third-person in Skyrim, but I just don't like first-person mode. Just seeing your hands and stuff like that, I just find it clunky every time. I just don't like it. I like to see my character. MasterKill492 said, how's college, Dave? What are you getting your degree in? Are you excited to see the new Star Wars movie coming up? And have you seen Iron Man 3 and Star Trek Into Darkness? And what are your thoughts on those movies? Whew, just a few questions. Right, number one, how's college? Finished. I finished college. I'm now at university. And to answer how's it going, it's going quite well actually. I'm quite enjoying it. We're learning quite a bit at quite a fast pace. Yeah. I've got high hopes for the future. What you get in your degree in, it is honours degree in games design. So who knows, you might be making a game made by the Captain one day. Are you excited to see the new Star Wars movie coming up? Didn't know there was one. Well, honestly, didn't know there was a new Star Wars movie coming up. I saw the third Star Wars, and I think I might have seen one others, but honestly, I can't honestly say hand on heart I've actually seen Star Wars. To be honest, I've seen the third one at the cinema, and I think I saw one of the other ones, one of the other newer ones. But the old ones, everyone always says they're good and you must see them, but honestly, I don't have any interest in seeing them, to be honest. Have I seen Iron Man 3? Yep, saw it at the cinema, enjoyed it, and bought it on Blu-ray just the other day. And I have not seen Star Trek Into Darkness, but I really wanted to see it. It's one of those films I wanted to see, but just due to lack of time, really, and at that particular time, money, I just haven't been able to get round to seeing it, unfortunately. But Iron Man 3, I liked it. I liked it more than Iron Man 2. Definitely liked it more than Iron Man 2. And a lot of people were pointing out loads of flaws in it. And I mean, it's a superhero film. You can point out a hell of a lot of flaws and stuff like that. So just enjoy it for what it is. You're going to see a superhero film. Just enjoy it. Although, one thing I did like, I think it was How It Should Have Ended. Pointed this out, that the scene, obviously if you haven't seen Iron Man 3, close your ears for a sec. The scene where he's been captured and he's tied up, and it's like the guy from his past that's got him and all that, is the exact plot from The Incredibles. And when I saw that, I thought that was hilarious. Seriously, How It Should Have Ended pointed it out. If you watch The Incredibles and then watch Iron Man 3, it's basically the exact same plot, and I just think that's quite funny. MasterKill492 also asked, are you going to get Call of Duty Ghosts? Nope, never. Do you watch, and that's not because I'm trying to be that cool internet guy who doesn't play Call of Duty. I haven't played COD since Black Ops. I enjoyed it for a short while, starting from World at War, but I just lost interest. Just don't really like it anymore. Brings out a bad side in me. I just get angry, and I think, well, I get angry playing the game. You're supposed to enjoy games. Do you watch any sports over there in England? A lot of English people do. I mean, sports is like, if you don't like sports, you're kind of left out of most conversations. Which happens to me, because I don't like any sports at all, ever. The only sport, if you can call it a sport, I ever really watched was wrestling. But no, don't like sports in the slightest. I just don't get the fascination with it. I get bored senseless watching any form of sport. But everyone else here pretty much does. One final question. What is your favourite type of music or favourite band, or do you listen to all types of music? I don't really have a favourite when it comes. I know, like I always say, I can't pick favourites, but when it comes to music, that's especially true. I have no type of favourite music. One day I could be listening to System of a Down, Disturbed, Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, something like that. The next day I'll be listening to Alan Jackson, and it's a good bit of country music, or the Zac Brown Band. And then after that, next day, Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre. And it's my taste in music changes. I tend to like songs according to where I was when I heard them, if you see what I mean. Like, most of the songs I listen to, it's because it sort of recalls some sort of memory for me or something like that. Sort of like nostalgic music. Now, there are some songs out there that I would never ever have enjoyed had I not heard it in a particular situation, if you see what I mean. It brings like some form of nostalgia back. But no, honestly, my music range varies between a lot of things. I don't mean to sound like an old man, but most of the crap that's on the radio these days, I can't really get on board with. I think it's just people making songs for the hell of making songs so they can make money. I mean, that's the way it's worked for years. I mean, it's worked that for the longest time now. But I just feel like if you listen to a lot of necessarily older songs, not even going that far back, to be honest, just like 5 or 6 years ago, you start listening to songs and you kind of realise, you're sort of hearing it, that they made the song because they had the idea and they turned it into a song, whereas now they want to make an album, so they just make 5 or 6 other tracks to fill out the rest of their CD. And it's just, I listen to a lot of songs now and I'm like, seriously, you've just sung about the same thing, like in 6 of your songs. It's like, come up with some material and just, I don't know. It's just become more of a, is it like music is becoming like fast food? They just produce songs really quick and then just try and sell as many of them as they can. It's just, yeah. I don't really have a favourite type of music. I like a lot of things. It's just I can buy an album, like one song, and hate all the other songs on there. So I don't really have a favourite. It's just individual songs I tend to like. Satineria said, "Hey Dave, first I'm Mal." Oh, there we go. Answer my question from last week. And second, I hear in almost all your videos you're drinking something. What is it you like so much that you drink it that much? Also, Lobster Beards, you were the first channel I subbed to. Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad I was the first channel you subbed to. It's not necessarily a drink that I like so much. It's just after the first time I recorded one of these Captain's Quarters, I realised I'd be talking for over an hour or so, and doing that makes your throat kind of dry. So the majority of the time it's a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, depending on how awake I am. Well, right now I've just got a glass of freeway cola. Because when you're dirt poor like I am, you just can't afford the good stuff. But no, it's just, I basically just fill up a drink. It could be water, Coke, tea, whatever. It's just to keep my throat moist so that I can keep talking to you without sounding like Chewbacca by the end of it. Carson Dickey said, Dave, maybe you could play a non-comic book game like PvZ, I'm not sure what that is, sorry, or Halo. Well, right now the only game I'm playing is Mass Effect, and that's not a comic book game. I mean, there are comics made of Mass Effect, but it was that way around. It came Mass Effect, then the Mass Effect comic, so technically it isn't a comic book game, really. Yeah, that's the one I'm playing right now. I plan on playing Beyond Two Souls at some point. I really still want to play Heavy Rain, The Walking Dead 400. I still got that I'm waiting to play. Obviously, Spider-Man 2 trailer came out, so I will be playing that, even though it's a comic book game, and obviously Batman Origins as well. I'll be playing that when that comes out. So, I've got a huge list of games, some of them non-comic, some of them are comic, but I mean, right now I'm playing a game which isn't a comic book game, so. But as seems how that is what the basis of my channel is, I will always revert back to comic book games, just to keep the people who sub to me for that reason happy, if you see what I mean, and because I want to, because I like those games. Seth Hampton, I was talking about the Amazing Spider-Man game not showing Pete's face. Oh, how do I feel about the game not showing his face? Oh, okay, I'm with you now. Honestly, I don't mind. When you're playing the Amazing Spider-Man game, you're playing it to be Amazing Spider-Man. I think it would have been cool, like, if, like, in the cutscenes, like, when Peter's in his apartment and stuff like that, if he took his mask off, I think that'd be quite cool, or maybe, like, in the end battle and stuff like that, like, he hasn't got his mask on. Because in films, Spider-Man's mask gets ripped off notoriously, like, a silly amount of time as he has his mask taken off in films. I can understand why, obviously, people interact with a character when you see their face, but in the game, I honestly, it didn't even occur to me they didn't show me his face, but it would have been a nice little feature if they added that in. Mission Unstoppable 1. Oh, hang on. Taking a sip of that drink again there. Yes, Dave, I agree with you about not having an ultimate superhero like that, especially because it would make the other superheroes seem less important. For example, Shepard, when he goes on to save the galaxy, someone like Galactus comes over and destroys all the Reapers for him. It would be cool, but if they had a superhero or villain like that in the future, just my thoughts. So, yeah, exactly. That's actually a really good example. Imagine Mass Effect is a great game, but imagine if one of his missions was he was to go over and recruit Galactus. Or Galactus would just come over and basically destroy all the Reapers, and that would be the end of that. And it would be like, oh, cool, well, Shepard won, but that was kind of anticlimactic. It just one guy came over and just swatted them away like flies. I mean, that's the thing. You need to have the conflict, and you need to be on the edge of your seat. Like, literally, you think they're about to lose in the very last second, and one of the superheroes just sweeps in with this great idea and saves everyone. And that's what makes the comics cool. And if you had one character that was just, like, insanely huge and just pooped on everyone, then, well, it wouldn't be fun, would it? So, Carson Dickey said, Captain Dave, I know you already answered the first part of this question, but stay with me there. Are comics where DC and Marvel Universe meet? Would you be interested in Marvel Ultimate Alliance? Had that, and whose side would you be? Oh, so it's sort of like Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but it'd be DC versus Marvel instead. So like Ultimate Alliance 2, where it was the Civil War with the anti-Reg and the pro-Reg sides fighting. It'll be another Ultimate Alliance, but DC versus Marvel. It would be quite interesting, but honestly, I wouldn't like that as a game idea. I think it would be, don't be wrong, it would be a good game, and obviously I would choose Marvel because that's what I read, that's who I know. But I wouldn't like it as an idea. I don't like it when they start. I don't like when programs cross over when they shouldn't really. They have no reason to cross over it. It just kind of breaks the fourth wall too much. Like if, for example, Shield was suddenly to be in an episode of How I Met Your Mother. It would be like funny, but it kind of ruined both shows, you know? So I think it would be a cool idea, it would be a cool concept, but I wouldn't like to see it personally. Carson Dickey also asked, okay, I realised I'm spamming you, so I'm going to put my question in one comment. Fair enough. Number 1, are you a brony? Hell no. I didn't even know there was such thing as a brony until I went Comic-Con and I saw a man with big, long, blue and pink hair and a towel and hoofs on the bottom of his shoes. Which, by the way, if anyone doesn't know, a brony is a male man who likes My Little Pony. I mean, each their own. If you like My Little Pony, fair enough. But I'm not a brony. Will you play Minecraft? No, I will not. Nothing against the game. It's not my cup of tea. I can understand how it is fun. I mean, I did play it for a short while back in the alpha stage, but that was the very last time I ever played it. And I did enjoy it, but it's just way, way, way too oversaturated on YouTube. And even in my personal time, I've got no interest to really play it. Were you making fun of my last name in the back of your head when you read it last time? No, I wasn't, but now you bring it up. No, honestly, I wasn't. Thought never even crossed my mind, to be honest, until I just read this question. Actually, no, the only thought that did cross my mind was I've got someone in real life who I call Dickie, so there's that. Dave, we would really like for you to do a horror or jump scare game with your face cam. Please, 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 please. Do it. I'll subscribe. Don't check your subscribers. I'm already there. Well, that makes no sense. How can you subscribe to me if you're already subscribed? Double subscribe. No, I probably won't. I'm not saying I won't play a horror or a jump scare game, because you never know what the future holds. And hell, you've seen me get scared at games which aren't supposed to be scary, and there's an example in my head and I can't remember what it is. There's one game, I can't remember what it is, I played recently and I did a walkthrough for you. And there's one bit that scared the bejeebers out of me. Like, literally, I screamed. I can't remember what it was now. Oh well. But, yeah, I might one day play like a horror or a jump scare game. Yeah, I don't know what's going to come out. I don't know what games I'm going to enjoy yet, so. But I can almost guarantee I'm never going to do a face cam. The only time I'll do something face cam related is if the video is like a vlog or something like that. But I'd never do it over the top of gameplay. Blast Eye Studio said, Dave, is it sad I have a whole Marvel Universe headcanon based around Spider-Man, known as Scarlet Spider? I can't really say yes or no because I don't know what a headcanon is. Sorry. Can't really answer that question, I'm afraid. Jessica, is it Petit? Petit. Jessica asked, is he British or Australian? I actually get that question a lot, but I'm British. Live in England, have done all my life, never been to Australia, unfortunately. I was raised in front of a TV set, so I must have picked up a bit of an accent somewhere. But no, I'm very much British. Carson Dickey is back again. I am so sorry for my spelling. My comments are on my iPod and I don't bother correcting them. My spelling's been alright. I haven't noticed anything, to be honest with you. Alexander, what's up, Dave? You're right, Alex. Question for you. Are you excited for Batman Arkham Origins, and would you do a walkthrough for that after playing the game yourself, obviously? I've pre-ordered Arkham Origins, so yes, I'll definitely be doing a walkthrough for it. In regards to as I'm excited about it, I'm actually not. There's nothing against the game, it's just the fact that just recently, obviously, I did my Arkham Asylum and Arkham City walkthrough. Both of them I played through first, and then I played through them again to do the walkthrough. And I did extensive playing into it so I can get all the challenges and all that sort of stuff unlocked. So I've put so many times into the other two Arkham games. It's not that I don't want to play Arkham Origins. I do. And I am going to play it and I'll probably do a walkthrough of it. But I'm not necessarily excited because I'm still a little bit burnt out from the last two Arkham games I played. But no, I'm definitely looking forward to playing it. The closer it's getting to the date, the more I'm starting to look forward to it. But I wouldn't necessarily say I'm excited. I'm content with looking forward to it. Alexander also asked, here is a question that I've been debating in my mind and I would like your input. If Batman were to square off against Black Widow, who would win? Here's a little info to help make your choice. While it is true that Black Widow carries a gun, she also has various martial arts training like Batman. To be more specific, who would win in a fist fight? That's a tricky one. My knowledge for Batman is just as limited as it is for Black Widow, to be honest with you. Other than staring at Scarlett Johansson's chest in Avengers, I don't know too much about Black Widow other than her cameos in other people's comics. But I would like to say probably Batman. Nothing to do with Black Widow being a woman before anyone mentions that. It's more just the fact that Batman... People are like pitting Batman up against Superman and against Spider-Man and Captain America and Iron Man. And I think if they were to put Batman against Black Widow, Batman would have the upper hand. It's just, he wouldn't be Batman if he would lose to Black Widow. That's not to say Black Widow wouldn't, destroy an average man. But I think it's just, Batman wouldn't be Batman if he couldn't beat Black Widow. That's just my opinion on it. If Black Widow had her own comic and she was up there with the rest of them, then yeah, I'd say it's a bit more of a fair fight. But I think they're both very... I'm saying this like they're real people. I think according to their skills in the comics, they're both very talented, but it's got to go to Batman on this one. And Alexander's final question... well, there we go. This will be my final question for you. I was just watching parts of your Arkham City walkthrough and you kept talking about how your PVR kept cutting out and stuff. Do you think you could do a video where you show us your setup or possibly how you do your recordings and stuff? I actually probably could. I don't see why not. I mean, especially since how I can't actually record right now. Thank God I recorded all that Mass Effect 2 stuff in advance. But since how I can't actually record right now, I might do actually. Can't promise you it'll be any time soon. Hell, it might not be for a long time. But yeah, I don't see why not. If I get this sorted out, then yeah, that'd probably be perfect time to record this once I get that fixed and everything. But yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, there is a really old playlist I've got on my channel. It's about 3 videos long. There's a 4th one I just added on the end, which is how I do my video editing. It was back when I was doing Fallout New Vegas, and I made like a 3-video series on how I edit every single one of those videos, because it was quite an extensive editing process I went through. I figured it would be the best one to show. So yeah, I mean, that doesn't have my setup or anything like that, but it will at least show you how I do my editing. And yeah, I might record a video with my setup and stuff like that. I've never really been too interested in them myself, but I mean, if enough of you would like to see that, then yeah, I might do. Why not? Geekspace asked, Man of Steel was fantastic, and yes, every single other Superman film is terrible. Also, if your other friend can't get an Xbox, I have one you can borrow. Oh, thanks. I spoke to him the other day, so I think, again, I just need to find out a date. I just need to, confirm a date with him and stuff like that. But he said he'll be fine for me to borrow it, but thanks anyway. Loving the shameless plugs, dude. You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. I will also soon need a voice actor for my game project at college, and I need it to be an aging homosexual American. So if you could do that, that would be great. Well, what can I say, Tommy? If you need an aging homosexual African American, then hell, I'm there. Why not? I don't know why I said African American. I've now changed my really terrible American accent into a black American accent. There you go. Carson Dickey said, Dave, do you ever think Captain's Quarter will go over multiple video comments? That was the plan. When I first started doing this, and in the very first Captain's Quarters, that was the plan. It was to go over multiple videos and answer all the comments from the videos that I got this week. So it would be over all my Mass Effect videos and other walkthroughs and stuff like that. But because I get so many comments on one individual Captain's Quarters, I've never really had a chance to go over multiple ones. I mean, at this point now, I've just hit 45 minutes, or I'm about to hit 45 minutes. So, I mean, I like the amount of comments I get. I mean, I think it's great, and I like answering all the questions. But if it ever did slow down, if like less questions were being asked, then yes, I'd love to go over other videos. That was originally the whole point of this, was so I can answer all the questions from all the videos, not just this one. But maybe I will later on, like down the road, if people stop asking, like if I get less and less questions on here, then yeah, I'll always then go on and start answering ones from other videos as well. But until this slows down, it will just be this one. Sean, not even going to try and pronounce your last name because I screwed it up last time, said, hey Dave, will you ever play Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic? It was made by BioWare, in case you didn't know. Yeah, a few people on quite a few older Captain's Quarters has asked me that. Thinking about it, but I can't guarantee anytime soon. Kenny Vesey said, hey Dave, I was just wondering, who is your favourite squad mate from Mass Effect Trilogy, and what characteristics would you like for squad mates in Mass Effect 4? With regards to what characteristics would I like for squad mates in Mass Effect 4, I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. Something new. I think one thing I always felt that you had was, I understand why, but I always felt like you had a huge abundance of human characters as squad mates, but you'd only have one of each species of alien. And I always thought that was a little bit weird. I mean, I would have loved to have a Vola squad mate. You know, I thought that would be quite good. I can understand why you can't have an Elcor. I mean, the thing's huge, and they say they don't battle. They just more fix like turrets onto their heads. And I mean, obviously, I don't want to have a Hanar, and the Vorcha are too. Unless you were to have a Vorcha that was, say, like its characteristics were different, almost like a savant kind of Vorcha, to where their intellect is amazingly like spectacular compared to the rest of the Vorcha, then have them on your team. I mean, that would be quite good, but your average Vorcha you probably couldn't, just because it would ruin the whole ethos of the Mass Effect universe if they're supposed to be I can't say the word. They're supposed to be vicious aliens, and then if one was supposed to be civil and on your ship, it would be a bit kind of odd. So they'd have to have some sort of personality defect to make them part of your squad mate. But no, I just like a bit of variation. Like, I can understand why they only have one of each species, because if they had two Turians, then the odds are you'd probably only ever pick one of the Turians. But I just think it maybe would have been, I don't know, just good to have a bit more variety than just the sheer amount of humans they had on one ship. Because, I mean, like, they had Garrus, obviously, throughout, and they had Quarian, but I would have maybe liked to have a Mal Quarian in one of the games. Because, I mean, I know Tali and Garrus were throughout all three, so you can't really have anyone else there without copying the same character, like the same species twice, if you see what I mean, on one ship. But, I don't know. I know you said characteristics, but I was just thinking, I would just like a bit more diversity in the aliens, I think. Just maybe something a bit different, instead of just, because, like, I mean, there's characters in ME3, I was about to mention a few, but there's a few characters who are in Mass Effect who were cool, but there was no real need for them. There was nothing special about them, and I don't know why they were there. Like Jacob, that's one of the main reasons I mock him. He's a cool squad mate, but what was any different with Jacob compared to Shepard? They were both human, they were both Mal, they were both in good shape, and they were both ex-Alliance. I mean, they both had biotics. I mean, at least my character did. I mean, so what was the point in having Jacob? They could have had they could have had anyone. They could have had another alien on board. They could have had maybe a human with like just like crazy abilities, or maybe some weird like mental defect or something. I don't know. I think they just could have made it less humans and then maybe a bit more diverse with the aliens. But who's my favourite squad mate? That is just, I can't answer that. It's just too many. I mean, obviously you gotta love Garrus and Tally. I mean, hands down, they're with you from the start to the end unless you get them killed. So you gotta love Garrus. I mean, whether you're female shepherd or male shepherd, Garrus has just got your back the whole way. And obviously I don't want to give anything away for those who haven't seen it yet, but whether you do or whether you don't romance Tally, I think that both of them work out in quite a cool way. So you gotta love Garrus and Tally. They're just there to the end. And your Krogans, both Grunt and Rex, they're awesome. I mean, Grunt's one of my favourites, but I think any of my favourites throughout the Mass Effect game would be any of the squad mates in Mass Effect 2. Basically, you can pick any one of them and they'll probably be my favourite. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Samara, the Justica. Other than singing that, I'm not really a huge fan of her, so I don't know, although since doing my walkthrough, she's grown back in my books again. I kind of do like her a bit since doing the walkthrough, but any of my squad mates from Mass Effect 2, I'd say my favourite. They all were pretty cool. Giovanni asked, Star Wars The Force Unleashed is a really fun game in my opinion. And then you go on to mention quite a bit that actually gives quite a lot of the game away, which then ironically you say at the end that you don't want to give out any spoilers, but you did actually mention quite a bit of how the game starts. But yeah, basically your point was the Star Wars The Force Unleashed is quite a good game. So yeah, a lot of people have been mentioning Star Wars to me right now actually. You also asked, here's a question I've been wanting to ask you but end up changing. Knowing every information about each superhero in both brands, who do you think would win in a battle, the Avengers or the Justice League, and why? I don't know every information about each superhero, like in the Avengers, let alone in Justice League. I hardly know anything, so I honestly couldn't give an opinion, to be honest, because I don't even know who's in the Justice League right now. I know like the iconic Justice League, you know, being like Flash, Green Lantern, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and I'm forgetting one. See, Cyborg. So I know them, but I don't know who else has been and hasn't been, and what the extent of their powers are. And right now, I don't even know who's in the main Avengers team right now. So I couldn't really comment. I'd like to say Avengers, obviously, because I like Marvel, but I couldn't really comment. Al Kashira, I'm pretty certain you told me how to say your name last time. Were you playing Fantastic Four? I really liked that game. I played Fantastic Four before once when I was younger. It was an okay sort of game. Maybe in the future. ID Quad, or IDKAWD, said, are you going to be involved in any Geek Space videos like GTA 5 walkthroughs? Couldn't really comment, to be honest. That's more of a question you'd have to direct their way. If they ever ask me to be in anything, then yeah, I'm more than likely to say yes. I always like getting involved in bigger projects like that sort of thing every now and then. But no, it'd be more of a question you'd have to ask them. They know I'm always looking to play stuff, but they've got a lot of stuff going on their channel right now with their veterinary elite hard super heroic video series they got going. They got the GTA 5 walkthrough, they got their Let's Plays. So I mean, they've got a lot of stuff going on at the moment, but if they ever say, hey Dave, do you want to be a part of this video, then yeah, definitely will. But for more of a definitive answer, you'd have to ask them, I'm afraid. You also asked, is my name actually Dave? Yes, it actually is. It was actually David, but yeah, that's my real name. And you also asked, how's university going? Well, like I said earlier, yeah, it's going cool. Thank you very much. Thanks for asking. It's alright, just plodding along, doing my work the best that I can. And one last question from Carlson Dickey said, Dave, a couple of Captain's Quarters ago, you said that Batman from the trilogy should end unless they're making a Justice League movie. Guess what? They are making Batman vs Superman thing. That Batman will be in Warner and are going to do the same thing as Avengers did. Oh, so basically what you're trying to say is that they're making Batman vs Superman so they can introduce Batman into the Warner franchise. So then that way they can make a Justice League. Alright, I see what you're saying. So that's why instead of just leaving Batman at where it was, they made Batman vs Superman just so they can introduce their own version of Batman so they can make the Justice League. Oh, fair enough. Well, yeah, if that's the case, then yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be really good. I'll be definitely up for watching that. But anyway, that is the end of Captain's Quarters, episode 5. I think it might have been just a tad shorter than last week's. Just a tad, but only by a smidgen. So, as always, if you have any questions that you want to ask me, feel free to leave it in the comment section of this video and I will read it out or answer it. Next week, I am off to go play Pokemon X because I've been craving to play it all day. And as always, my name's Captain Dave, this has been the Captain's Quarters, and I'll catch you guys later.